Welcome back to your friendly AI wife. We are going to get straight into these videos. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning customer, welcome back. Let's get into it.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you're a victim of one of the biggest scams in human history? The US dollar is backed by nothing. And you have to buy oil with American money. So the rest of the world is also a victim here, not just Americans. Wouldn't it be crazy that every day you go to work for your money, the Federal Reserve prints more? And that simultaneously means that the money you're working for is worth less as you're working for it. The very idea of the Federal Reserve was concocted in a secret meeting held on Jekyll Island back in November of 1910. And it was just top financiers, bankers. They made this up, not politicians. You see, back then, before, the U.S. dollars could be redeemable for gold. Like it was backed by gold. That's what that means. And wouldn't it be crazy that in 1933, with the passing of Executive Order 6012, the American government confiscated all the gold? And I guess it'd be kind of crazy if during COVID in March 2020, there were new policies passed. And these new policies made it so that any bank within the Federal Reserve System does not have to keep reserves in their vaults or anywhere. They don't need to have reserves. So they're giving you money they don't have. In the heat of the financial crisis of 2008, it is estimated that every dollar that was in a bank had been loaned 150 times. Furthermore, borrowers, so like big companies and rich people, hedge funds, yada yada, real estate probably, the top tier borrowers get access to the freshly printed money before everyone else. So what does that mean? They get it at a lower rate when the money's worth more, and then they will, lend it out. It gets dispersed into, down to the rest of us scum. But that effectively means that by the time you get around to paying these people back, you're paying them back with money that's literally worth less value than it was when you got it. Nothing's changed. Just your money is now worth less because of inflation. So it's actually not that crazy for me to sit here and tell you money's not real. But we all need it.
Oh, we've all heard this story before, right? This is definitely a conspiracy theory that has been out there forever, and there is truth to it. With inflation, with how fast they just print it, with the fact that there is no gold backing it. I mean, what is it really? Paper? It's high-valued paper. It's good quality stock. There's a nice little ribbon in it. So you think it's money, I think it's money, especially at a time that we're going to digital currency and that we're pretty soon going to be completely involved in BRICS because they're going to want to take over everything and we're going to have no choice but to get along with them. I mean, what are we really talking about here? We do know that they're trying to take out the penny because it costs more to make a penny than it does to have a penny. Like everything is not what we think it is. They have all this money. They keep printing money. If it's not backed by gold, what is the value of it besides, like I said, high glorified stock paper? The banks don't have anything to back up to it. What is it? But we all work for it. It's an idea of money. It's an exchange. You bring this money, you exchange. Back in the day when they used to do barter and trading, there was never any money. It was a service. We exchange services. You're a blacksmith. I'm a dairy farmer. We exchange. That had value. What would we put that value on? What would we say? I will give you this many gallons of milk. You give me all of the supplies that I need. What is the value? We've just put value on money that was originally backed by gold, but now it's not. People who have gold, oh my goodness, talk about the price of that. I once had an encounter with a lady who worked at the eye doctor, right? She was the lady at the receptionist, really sweet older lady. And she was like, oh honey, I have coins. And I'm like, oh, okay, what kind of coins? She's like, gold. I have gold coins. I have gold. That's what I've invested everything. I have it. It's behind. Do you think you can go and get gold that easily these days? No, you cannot. I live in a state where people gold pan. There's barely any gold in them hills. The gold is gone. Everybody's taken it. The people who have it, they are holding tight. They're hoarding it. They're not going to let it to anybody. Meanwhile, we have dollars that you could pretty much wipe your nose with it because it's not a value. But the idea is value. Break ourselves to get this money because we think, oh, it's worth something. They're telling you it's not. Inflation. It's not, he said the dollars were traded back 150 times, just over and over and cycled. Meanwhile, every day they're printing out more money. Where is the source? Where is the substance? Always ask questions. Always be asking questions. But the thing is, if you don't have that money, if you don't have those cash dollars, you don't get anything. So that's where the value is. The value is what it allows you to do. Can it get you out of a situation that you couldn't get out of any other way without money? See, for me, getting money and having access to money has never been about being able to buy the nicest house, buy the nicest car, that fancy bag that so many people often want, or just about anything that your little materialistic eyes and hands could get your hand on. No, for me, it's always been about, I see what having money does. I grew up around people whose parents were very, very wealthy. And I would see my friends who would get into all sorts of trouble. And their parents would just come in, wave their wand of status and how much money was tied behind their name. Voila! Just like that. Everything disappeared. That's when I started realizing that's the value of money. That's what it is. That's what it does for you. It allows you to sponge your background, get everything taken off, makes it to where you don't have to be accountable because you just waved your magic wand of money, of your assets, of your inheritance, of your trust fund, whatever it is. That's what it is. We think the dollar has something. No, honey, it's the value that lots and lots and lots and lots of dollars have. Meanwhile, we're just out here working for our pennies. We're working for our pennies that cost more to make pennies than it does to have a penny. I think the whole system is rigged in that sense, but what can they do? When they first started making money, they didn't realize there was going to even be this many people on the planet, let alone what they're going to do with. That's why other countries are switching to bricks. They're all tying together. Meanwhile, we're still over here way, way behind with our dollars. And let's talk about the fact that most places don't even accept cash. I have been to multiple establishments where they are like, your cash is not wanted here. We want that digital currency. Digital, baby. Even places will take payment as far as Bitcoin. They will. I'm a business owner, and one of the options when I go to charge clients is they could pay me via Bitcoin. They absolutely can. So the dollar, the $10 bill, the $20 bill, the $100 bill, the good old $50 bill, pretty soon they aren't going to be anything because they're not worth anything. It costs more to make them than they are of value. So they are going to take the money out. We will just be on a complete digital frequency to the point where when they say it's the mark of the beast, it's going to be in your hand. It's on your phone. That's why we have the Apple Pay. So yeah, I believe everything that he's saying. It's not far. It's not far from what's going on. It's here. We know this. We've seen it. When's the last time you even had money in your wallet? I like to carry a little bit of cash. That's me. I like to carry cash. I like to see what I'm spending. Because so many times we just swipe cards and we just take it out of my checking account that you don't see it. It's not until you feel the money in your hand that you're like, you know what? I don't want to get rid of this so fast. I want to keep this. I want to put this in my pocket. I want to stack it up. But when you can't see it, it doesn't feel like it. So you just spend it. That's why I like to take some cash out of the bank and carry it. Sometimes even when I take the cash out of one bank and then I move it to the next, they're like, what size bills do you want? I'm like, it doesn't matter because it's going to the other place to pay bills. Give me all hundreds. But for that brief moment when I'm holding all of those hundreds in my hand, I feel rich, even though the amount that's in my hand is not really the value. So talk about inflation and money. Talk about eventually we won't even have money. Talk about we'll just all have barcodes and we'll be like that old show back in the day. What was that movie where you go and you scan your hand and then you see your value? We're all going to have a little, what's it called? Like it's going to show how much we are worth above us. We're all going to walk around with that. You're worth this much. You're worth that much. Some people are going to be negative because that's most of us. NSF charges, bank accounts, it's marked negative. So this is a good story. I could go on and on about this one because it's something that we all have heard about, we've talked about, we know about, we understand that in the future money is not going to be here, it's not going to be existing. If they're getting rid of the penny, same thing with the nickel, it's hard to even get change. Do you know some stores don't even want you to bring change? Like, don't you? They look at you like, how dare you? Because it's not worth anything and they don't want it. They're like, how dare you give me that trash? First of all, it is $10 in quarters. It's money. Okay? If the washing machines will take it at the local laundromat, you better take it too. Well, that was good. I like that one. I got to rant a little bit. I like to talk about money. I like to talk about how eventually we won't have it. So make sure that when we go back to a bartering a barter system, that you have something that you can exchange, because that's where the value is. It's right there. Pick up a hobby. Figure out how to do something. Figure out a new subsistence way of life so that you can have something to exchange, because you're going to need it one day in the future. Maybe not next week, maybe not in 5 or 10 years, but eventually you'll need it. Teach it to your kids. Thank you so much for tuning in to your friendly neighborhood AI wife. Until next time, peace out.